Good evening, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Single in the City. I am your host, Tiara, and I have my lovely co-host, Genesis, here. And we have another special guest that we talked with last week, Justin, that we are excited to bring back into this week's episode. Our conversation last week just needed a part two. We discussed marriage, singleness, and how to pivot from being single to being married. What are the requirements of a good wife? What are the requirements of a good husband? And what that looks like from both gender perspectives. Genesis, how you feeling tonight?
Girl, I'm ready to jump back in.
Get right into it.
Yeah, this is a great conversation. I think a very open conversation that people don't have. And especially understanding what some men are looking for when it comes to marriage, and then also what some women are looking for, and deciphering what we mean when we say certain things and make certain comments about what we're looking for in a significant other.
Yeah. So without further ado, we like to go ahead and bring back in our guest that went into hiding. Justin, you around? There he is.
Hi, ladies.
He's back. How are you feeling?
With my hands. How you feeling? No, I'm kidding. I'm feeling amazing, and I'm definitely looking forward to some more of this conversation because there's some meat on these bones that we need to really get into.
Okay, well, let's get right into it. We've been throwing the questions at you, so I know that you say you were specifically excited about a part two. So what feedback do you have for us? What are some things that you think you need to impart before we start spitting questions back at you rapid fire?
Well, listen, those last questions about, the expectations of men, I was baffled because I was thinking that the things that we're asking for isn't really outside of what you should be doing for yourselves. So your upkeep, your maintenance, how you maintain a home, how you, keep your spaces, how you, do that beautiful feminine thing that you ladies do where you multiply things. You multiply all things that you're given. We give you a house, you make us a home, we give you semen, you give us beautiful babies. We come to know that from y'all. So when there's, people are talking about withholding things, then that seems a bit questionable as it relates to a relationship, especially if that person thinks that an individual has long-term potential and they really want to, take that journey with them. Why are things being withheld? And to add to it, like, don't nobody glow harder than a woman that's recently out of a relationship. Say what you want, don't at me. The thing is, women sometimes take their eye off the ball and then get a little, I don't want to say the L word, but I think they allow other things to become prioritized in front of the things that may have attracted their mate. And then once that mate is no longer in the picture and they know they're back on the market, that glow up happens again. So when you're saying that men have, they have expectations about how a woman should look, how she should carry herself, what she's coming to. And yes, some of those things are physical, thusly a weight requirement, because I want to be attracted to you years after we make this decision to get married.
Mm-hmm.
Listen, Tiara, while I got you, you're talking about green flags.
Yeah.
And I love what you said. I thought it was deep. It was quick. You said, are green flags for a man what a woman can do for him, and seemingly for a woman what that man can do for the world. Like, I don't want to misquote you, so please type me up if I missed it. But I think that's kind of, you're onto something. I think when I speak to men that are in like the baby boomer generation, that whole idea of what the marriage setup is in traditional marriage, wherein the man is the breadwinner and the woman is the homemaker, that makes certain things kind of, make sense in terms of people that want or think that they want a traditional marriage setup. And in that particular setup, that works best, where, the green flags for the man are what that woman can do for him. And then the green flags for the woman are what that man can do for the world and what she can help him do, because he is the front person. I think now, and I speak as an elder millennial, now women also want to be like, they want to be kind of, they want their own. They've put a great deal of emphasis on getting education and making sure that their careers are popping and other stuff. So it makes that traditional setup kind of moot. But at times we want to jump back to it, seemingly based on what's convenient. And then, but it's not the same.
Who wants to jump back into it when it's convenient?
I think it seems like women at times want to jump back into it, more so than I hear men saying, yeah, I want to stay at home woman. But it seems like women have an expectation for men to basically do the heavy lifting as far as financial responsibility, which I have my ideas about that. I don't think that that's totally wrong. However, I do think that the partnership element is what makes the marriage stronger. I believe that partnership is so dope because it lightens the load for each individual and it creates multiple winners. Like if I'm out here and I'm doing everything by myself, then this is my stuff. This house is mine. Don't raise your voice in here. Don't say anything to me about what you don't like, because this is what I've made here. So it gets tricky right in there. But what you said was deep. That thing kind of hit.
No, it's interesting because if you think about like Martin Luther King, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. and Coretta Scott, right? And everybody knows that, he was a pastor. He was Reverend Dr. Martin. Martin. Tell him the dream you had, Martin. But we all know that Martin used to get down when he was on that road. And Coretta Scott, she stood by him. That's her man, and she's gonna stick beside him. And we praise Dr. Martin Luther. I mean, he got his own day for what he contributed to society. Rightfully so. We can't take nothing away from him. But at the same time, what he contributed to society and what Coretta Scott King contributed to being, the wife, the mother of his children, the supporter, arms wrapped while they walking and marching. But she got the short end of the stick when it came to the totality of the person that he was based off of his infidelity. So I say that to say that women like Coretta Scott King are praised in the history books for her faithfulness to Martin Luther King, whereas Martin is not usually side-eyed by the way he mishandled Coretta sometimes because of his contributions to society. And I think when we deal with that, we see the trend and the pattern of what men historically are able to get away with and what women are not able to get away with because their job is cooking, cleaning, being a good homemaker, and being quiet. So that way we can keep the man elevated for the culture.
Your issue? I'm kidding.
Well, look, you might not be popular, but my favorite character is Celestial because
one of the quotes that I wrote down in the book that kind of stood out to me was, "Love is the enemy of sound judgment."
She seemed like a very needy woman. And I can't even respect Andre because how do you prey on your friend's wife while he's incarcerated? Like, I just can't get with that. And maybe I got too invested in the book, That's the point.
Type 2 diabetes can have a big impact on your life, but how can it be prevented? Well, the first step is knowing if you have prediabetes, a serious medical condition that puts you at high risk for type 2 diabetes. 1 in 3 American adults has prediabetes, but more than 80% don't know they have it. The good news is, prediabetes can be reversed, and for many people, healthy changes in their daily routine can make a big difference. Take the 1-minute risk test today at doihaveprediabetes.org.
That's deep. Short end, actually, she got the best end, in my opinion, of any other woman that could have possibly been in his life. She got to see him up close. She got to have children with this man and got to build a life with this man. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, I have some controversial views about this sort of thing. I don't think that, okay, how can I say this? I mean, because we know black men don't cheat. We do know this. This is understood. Let me see. What can I say? I never saw Martin Luther King cheat. That's me. Let me see. What I can say is, say it again.
I said this is all alleged. That everything that I mentioned about Martin is alleged.
You know what I'm saying? These allegations, I can't speak on those, but I can say that if that man showed up authentically in his relationship from the get-go, why would there be any expectation that he would do something different once the ring was in play? That's one thing. And then, you know, I'm going to just say it. I think that men are as faithful as their options. You know what I'm saying? So if you want a certain caliber of man, a certain type of man, you need to be prepared to deal with the options that he has.
So does that not contradict though the word, or, you know, did they just forgot to write polygamy in the Bible?
Oh, polygamy, there was no such thing. It was just understood. It was common knowledge that men had multiple wives and handmaidens and so many other things. So how does that correlate?
So you think that the modern day approach to marriage as, you know, two people, a couple, which is two people, you know, according to math, is just two, is not a few, is not called some, which is 4. It's a couple, which is 2 people. Make a couple, therefore are a couple, which is 2, which is 1 person and 1 person equals 2. Where then do we get the idea that we should or should not be just with 1 person? Is the idea of a coupling or just 2 people in a relationship not, I don't know how to say it, but is that not something that we should even think is the right way to go? Are we putting too much emphasis, so to speak, on the idea of just being with 1 person? Or should we be open to the idea of multiple people as Christians?
And also throwing in there, considering that women too could only be as faithful as our option.
Okay.
This is very true. All very true. I think the 2 people thing, I think that that's a one size fits all approach to marriage, where in marriage, it must be nuanced and people have to set their own boundaries. As we know, the Bible says the bed of marriage cannot be defiled. So if a person is coming and clearly telling you how they like to get down, how they like to move, it is not, you know, another person's business, or it shouldn't be their objective to then, you know, change them. You know what I'm saying? Like I've learned a lot in the last 2 years. If COVID hasn't taught me anything, it's taught me. It's really, punctuated the fact that I don't have to like certain things, but I do have to accept and respect people's choices and how they like to move, how they like to run their situation. So, that some ideas about the marriage thing, which, didn't resonate with me early on, were just the territorial nature of it all, because it does seem to get a bit territorial, like, you know what I'm saying? Like at it on a base level, like what made somebody say, what made people go from having thousands of wives and however that went to saying it only need to be these two people? I mean, I think that's it's not as productive. That's counterproductive. That's, that lack of variety could be, that could, I don't know, that could keep a person from being fully authentic with them, and presenting who they are to a person. That can make someone have skeletons and have to not be who they are. So it's a matter of what people place importance on. Do they want this too, or do they want that one person to be completely authentic and share themselves with them and share a life with that person?
I have a question. Well, first off, I can partially understand it. Okay. But I just think that it's accepted if a man thinks that way, but if a woman thought that way, I don't know if it would be as easily gone over. I don't know if a man would be as comfortable, and if men are taught, and just in general, to be that open and vulnerable and understanding, if a woman exercise those options as you just explained.
You cannot do a man how he do you and expect him not to act a fool.
Or have an issue, or want to leave you, or want to compete, or want to get over on you, and it's revenge.
Bust down the door.
That point. For some men. Now, that's not all men. Some men, there might be some men that are okay with that, and they might understand the balance of, if I get to do it, then you get to do it. But I think one thing, and I'm kind of switching gears here, but as a society, and Tierra, you come in, you tell me if you think differently. But as women, it seems like that we are supposed to accept a man as he is on his inner. We are supposed to, if he comes this way and he shows you who he is, you don't have to, if you don't try to change him or don't try to manipulate him in a certain way, because that won't work. So you have to accept him for all of his flaws, and just look for 60% of what you maybe feel like, oh, he's ambitious. He's a good provider. He doesn't mind working. He's at least sometimes nice to me. So, let me try to keep this good man, quote unquote. It's about what we define in society sometimes as a good man. But in that same breath, it's like men are always saying, look at me for who I am on the inside and my inner, and accept me and make me feel like I can be emotionally secure, make me feel like I can be vulnerable with you and show you all these things, no matter if you feel like you like it or not. However, if I tell you, I want you to pay 80% of the bills, it's an uproar. If a woman gets out and she says, hey, I do want a certain type of man that does this for me, or is this type of man for me, or he does handle certain things in a different area, we are criticized. Why do you think you deserve a high value man, as they call him these days? Why do you think you deserve somebody that has options? But we're expected to just accept whatever men kind of throw at us in order to just have somebody. And then certain men, you have to do whatever you want to do.
I think
and then when that doesn't apply.
I think when you're dating, it needs to be what it was when we signed up. So when guys want to get with you, he got the bells, he got the whistles, he got the dates, he got the food, He got the wine and dine, the where you want to go, what you doing, where you at, texting you all day, FaceTiming you. I just want to see you. Keep that same energy throughout. I think that if a guy knows that he can get a girl and keep a girl, then that allure for her changes in a sense. And then that's when you get to see somebody's true colors. So it's like, I'm real quick in dating to be like, you know what? I started switching up because you started switching up. So let's just, cut it. And let's really address how you are not who I thought you were. Therefore, I can't be who I am to you. And I think that when I don't like to use the term leash because our men dogs. But what I'm saying is when you keep a certain handle on a situation, you won't get in a predicament where you let one thing slide and he ice skates. Because that's when it's like, we need to be on the same playground mentally. If a guy approaches a relationship and says, you know what, the typical standards of marriage is not something, tell me that on the first date. Don't wait till we 6 months in and we walking past the jewelry store and I'm like, oh, that's nice. You like that? And he's like, I mean, I like it, but the whole thing, I don't know. If I do it, then I might have to, have 2 or 3 on the side. Why didn't you let me know that from the beginning? And I think that expectations and standards on both sides need to be set the sooner the better, and let people keep that same energy or not keep that same energy, but don't try to hold on to it. I think women tend to like projects and men seem to like women that they know they can't have. And that's where the friction. Yeah.
Games.
We're back on our Thanksgiving installation. Water also. I'm gonna let that come back to a boil.
If you love them enough to crawl into a play place to get them to come down, then surely you'll check nhtsa.gov/the right seat to make sure they're in the right car seat.
What's up, y'all? It's your boy Jermaine Dolly, Mr. Hello Dolly himself, and guess what? You're tuned in to Tea and Worship with my homies, Mignon and Corey. Keep it locked, y'all.
Hey y'all, it's Candy West, and you're watching Tea and Worship with Mignon and Corey.
It's your boy James Fortune, and you are watching my favorite news show, Tea and Worship, with my sis Mignon and Corey.
What y'all think? I don't know. This is just my thoughts.
Well, okay, I'll tell you what I think on that. I personally think the only thing that I would say is different is that no matter how much men try to act like, they don't know this or this, that, or whatever, they control and set the tone of a relationship. If a man comes in your life and he's setting a certain amount of pressure on you, he's dating you a certain type of way, he's treating you seriously, like he wants to be in your life, like he does not want you to leave. Women it is just like in our nature, we melt and we're going to go along with it. That's why they say love is blind, because then you start really getting into emotion with the person. They're setting the tone. But as soon as a man switches up the tone, the woman's going to follow. You know what I'm saying? Because you're leading a relationship. It doesn't matter in what type of situation it is. So even if a man does come to a woman and say something like, and they're honest, open and honest. I know a lot of men that are like this, that are very much so, hey, I have a girlfriend, but I like you. What we do is what we do. And, you know, that has nothing to do with anything else. You know what I'm saying? And some women are just like, I don't have a problem with that. I don't have a problem with that, because that allows me to set mental boundaries in my head and in our relationship on what we're going to be and how I need to proceed and how I need to maybe even be guarded in some areas. But it's like, I think the issue comes in is where men get unrealistic and they start to think, oh, well, you my side piece, but you need to be doing a little bit more. Why you not cooking for me? Why you not doing this? I'm not that. That's not me. That's not my role. That's not what I signed up for in your life. That's her role. I'm doing my part. She needs to do her part. And if you got somebody else, that's her part. But at the end of the day, I heard Kirk Franklin say something about this. It's like, but when you date in that way of, I'm getting this from this person, that from this person, that from another person, that from another, then you try to put it all onto one person. It's just never going to work. They're going to automatically break. It's too much weight. Right. It's too much weight, because it ain't even just the options in people. It's the options in what you have just in life, the access that we have as individuals and people. Even what we want to eat from a day-to-day basis. I could Uber Eats anything I want. But when you have a certain level of consistency and a standard in how you are in your life, and you know exactly what you're looking for, and you're taking and you're open to knowing that nobody is going to be 100% perfect for you. That is just impossible. Nobody's going to be that. But if you can look at a person and make a conscious decision and say that this woman or this man, they do all of these things for me. They might not do these little things or whatever, but that's cool. I'm all right with that. I can compromise on that. That's the big piece of marriage that I feel like a lot of people don't want to do, especially men. Men don't want to compromise on nothing. They want you to be able to cook like a chef, but they don't want you to gain no weight. I'm going to eat the food I'm cooking. You know? I got to.
And men are so territorial. Men are territorial. That's why this whole conversation of, you know, should you be one person or should you be multiple? Men are territorial. I remember I was talking to somebody and I was like, yeah, I don't know if I want to change my last name, because I've been holding this last name down for years. And what I look like just marrying somebody I just met, and all of a sudden I got his last name. I like my initials. I like the way my name look on paper. I like my signature. And you like, you wouldn't take my last name? First of all, I'm not even your girlfriend. But the idea of I need to take his last name if he was to be serious about me is like, oh, so I am your property. That's what you want. You like that territory, but you date and do whatever you want to do. But let a girl say she don't want his last name.
I don't even think it's so much the last name piece. I think it's more of a cheat on a man and see what he gonna do. Be open. Hey, babe.
We probably cattle.
I don't know.
This other person.
And I just want to let you know that I love you, so I'm gonna tell you why it had happened. Guys,
listen.
They be like, I can't be with her no more.
Listen, y'all saying a lot. Y'all are saying a lot. Y'all are saying a lot of very, very valid points. Say it again. I'm sorry. I missed what you said.
No, you come on there because we can go all day.
Okay, you know what I'm saying? So y'all are saying some very valid points. And while I was, I was being a little facetious earlier, saying, a man should only be expected to be as faithful as the options that he has. I do realize that, what I'm saying, it's, as I said earlier, it's like there ain't a lot out here as far as certain things. So like a man has to make some decisions. I do understand that, and I do understand that that's why that marriage piece is so important. I think a lot of the stuff y'all said, though, it kind of assumes that men and women are on the same playing field as it relates to the choosing, when we as the men control the access to it. And we're aware that there's a power dynamic that shifts when we choose a wife. When we allow y'all into that space of being a wife, then y'all become the focus. So yes, when we choose a wife, because prior to, when a woman is in pursuit of that ring, she's malleable. She's going to serve that man. She's going to do whatever he says. If it's something that he asks her to change, something he doesn't like, that ain't working for him, it's out of there. But once she becomes the wife, then, you know what I'm saying, it's a different dynamic, because then she becomes kind of priority. So I think that power dynamic shifts and actually favors women once they're in that position.
Now let me ask you this, and I just want your opinion for your life. Do you find it more attractive when you know that if you act up or get on her nerves, she'll be gone, bags packed, outside tomorrow, gone, bye, see you later? Or do you like the idea of molding a woman into the wife before you get on her? Which one?
Well, yeah, clearly no one likes the idea of someone leaving, because that says that they're not there for the right reasons, or they don't have the maturity to really be in an adult relationship where there are going to be peaks and valleys.
She's there for you. She's there. She's just not putting up with mess. You know, she's just like, you know what? Yeah. This was cute and all, but since you ain't called me back last night, I don't really think this is working out. You know, she's willing to walk out that door because she heard you. She know you got options, but you know she got options too. She say, or even if she don't got options, she good by herself. Is that a more attractive prospect of a female, or do you tend to think that the woman who is more interested in sticking it out, you know, thick and thin, and then in the mud, in the trenches with you while you grow and get yourself together to be a husband? Which woman are you more so seeing yourself aligning to?
I would think that's a good question. It's a good question. The latter sounds more attractive. You know what I'm saying? Because, you know, although that is a great position to be in business, it doesn't really hit that well for hearts. And that doesn't give the man the security that he needs to really show up to the relationship if he feels that at any moment, if she don't like what I'm doing, she's going to pull the rug out from under me, just so, you know, just to flex. So definitely the more relaxed woman that's willing to work with me is more attractive, especially at my age, you know.
Guys, we will have to finish this conversation next week, but thank you so much for tuning in. The conversation must continue and go on. So we hope that we will see you next week for another episode of Single in the City. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you then.